Well, although I'm not really a fan of the game franchise, Resident Evil has a unique mix of sci-fi and zombie horror that I think has a lot of potential. I've always thought that. Does that result in a Netflix series premiere that hooks me in? Stick around and I'll share my thoughts. I'm Peter Franson from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions. This is my uncut review of Resident Evil, the Netflix series premiere. The synopsis on IMDb reads, nearly 3 decades after the discovery of the T-virus, an outbreak reveals the Umbrella Corporation's dark secrets, based on the horror franchise. The synopsis for episode 1 reads, when the Wesker kids move to New Raccoon City, the secrets they uncover might just be the end of everything. So this is a show that, at least based on the premiere, looks like it's going to be splitting time between post-apocalyptic 2036 and present-day 2022, with most of the first episode taking place in the present day. Jade and her sister Billy are both teenage girls arriving in the Umbrella Corporation-owned New Raccoon City with their father, who has a high position in the company. Albert Wesker, I think is his name. The last name Wesker is definitely what their last name is, and I believe he's a well-known character from the game franchise. They're having trouble, these girls, adjusting to their new surroundings, their new high school, and a good amount of the first episode revolves around Billy being bullied at school. There are very few zombies. They're certainly not frequent. I would even say they're barely a backdrop in the future setting scenes. But present day is said to be 3 months before the end, so we will hopefully see more of them in both settings before long. Hopefully not for me. Hopefully for fans that want to see zombies. I really don't care. In the opening scene, zombies are a phenomenon being studied. They are not something really being feared, and that's a problem for me if you're going to be doing like horror type stuff. And, the main tension is there's danger from these horror things. Well, then I need to feel like the character is in danger. But in the very opening scene, we've got a main character who clearly has a comfort level and has developed a bunch of significant safeguards against zombies, I almost said demons, that keep her safe. They do at some point become threatening, but even then the actor's performance doesn't really feel emotionally committed enough for me to really feel the danger that she's in. Not to mention that dialogue sounds very scripty to me in much of this episode, and the logic in action sequences is used selectively. For example, sure, we can throw the hero around and use their body to break windshields, but they're going to wake up rested and pretty much fine in the next scene, not complaining of any aches and pains or anything. Let's have that monster leer and snarl menacingly over its overpowered human meal just to kind of unnecessarily manufacture some tension instead of more reasonably just devouring its prey. You've got them, they're helpless, they're pinned down, and you're just going to snarl for a little bit? No, come on. It just seems like a device, like a movie and TV device. And there are little things all over the place, really, that keep me at a distance with their artificiality in different ways and remind me that I'm watching a TV show. Many of them I might not notice. I don't get as nitpicky with this as I was watching it as I do with other stuff that I really enjoy, and that's because the things that are most important to me can really engage me mentally and emotionally so that I'm not noticing all the things that I would normally nitpick about. But the key things that are most important to me were not working for me in this pilot, and so as a result, all these little nitpicky things were catching my attention and rising to the surface. Really, it's the dialogue, the characterization that I think, and I think especially the acting style, that had me checking out almost immediately and throughout the episode. I was never pulled back in with something that felt truly genuine and human compared to what I've seen in other shows. I mean, if you want this kind of show I'm talking about, it's Breaking Bad, it's Better Call Saul. I know those aren't geek shows, but once you've gotten a taste of shows that really drive themselves with performances, with interesting cinematography, with showing and not just telling all the time, I want that in my geek fiction too. And when I'm not getting it, I'm not getting it, and there's just too many other things I could spend my time on. As far as the performances, the cast goes, everyone, I think, were solid enough actors to present probably the emotion they were being asked. I don't really know in instances like this if it comes down to the actor ability or what they're being asked of or not being asked of by the director or some combination of both. I just can comment on the net result. I want more complexity in what is coming out of these performances. You know, I don't just want anger, for example. I want anger that I can tell is motivated by something else, maybe fear or insecurity or love for someone else. I want one emotion up front, but I want indications that another one is kind of being internally fought, maybe trying to be suppressed by the character. Character performances is really key to engaging me in fiction like this, and all the performances here were straightforward and simple, and to the point where they didn't keep my interest. You know, I felt like these characters I didn't see evidence of them being complex or interesting enough really for me to invest in, and a lot of that really does come down to the performances. Briefly, stunts and visuals. I'll just say that a couple CG creature shots were solid, but quality seemed strangely inconsistent to me, with green screens especially being some weaker moments. And I feel like I've been noticing that more in the last few years, where sometimes there'll be some really great CG creatures, but then there's some green screen that I'm just like, those actors are not there. they are in front of a green screen right now. I don't know. It's odd. As far as themes, you know, I'm always looking for interesting moral, philosophical, or spiritual themes. I don't know. In this case, corporations are evil, greedy, and always hiding things. You know, I guess that could be a theme. It's certainly there, but it feels more like a trope than anything else. It's certainly something that the games are known for, so I feel like it's more a carryover from that than something that they're trying to intentionally make commentary on. I don't know. I have no idea what your tastes are in movies and TV shows, but if I were a time traveler, I would go back in time and, you guessed it, say, Vader, oh my gosh, skip this one. You know, even if you did love the games, this wouldn't pull you in at all. Hopefully fans of the franchise will find something to enjoy here, but it's definitely not for you. This one's rated TVMA for language, violence, gore, and smoking. And those are all my thoughts for now on Resident Evil, the Netflix series premiere. As always, I'd love to get your thoughts and reactions in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, click that bell to stay connected to this content. I want to thank the Spirit Blade Insider so much for making this review and so much of my content possible. You can get info about the benefits of joining over at patreon.com/spiritbladeproductions. Then I hope you'll check out the Christian Geek Central podcast and stay connected to all CGC content over at christiangeekcentral.com as we continue to geek out and seek the truth. For more chat about geek entertainment, answers to your questions, and news from the wider world of Christian geekery, get the Christian Geek Central podcast today on iTunes and other podcast services.